Hey guys, welcome to another progress report on Sword Hero, this time about my additions since October. So the most of these 2 months have went towards actually creating the world in which, or at least a small subset of the world in which Sword Hero is going to take place in. Well, don't look at this place here, it's gonna be a lake. It's just not filled with water yet. There's gonna be a waterfall. No, it's gonna be awesome. So yeah, let's just move a bit around here. I'm gonna show you guys a bit of the new stuff, like very nice and immersive bugs and flies. See, this guy wasn't really lucky. Yeah, well, yuck. Let's go to a place where there's a bit more foliage, so I can show some things about the new foliage rendering I've put together. So basically, maybe in the demo as well, you guys could see that some of the foliage and things like that were like wobbling and moving as you passed by. The case is still the same, however I've updated the system so it's a bit more performant. And also added some extra stuff to it while at it. For example, being able to wobble them from a distance as well. Some of you might have seen the video which I've of that bug, which I've since then made into a cheat actually. Yeah, so basically this effect is going to be repurposed somewhat to... Oh shit. Yeah, Jesus, let's turn it off. So yeah, this effect is going to be somewhat repurposed to handle the footstep effects of very big enemies later on, and things like, for example, explosions are already using it. Just, not in such a big radius as, it makes those trees as well on the top of the mountain shake, but a bit more tame. So yeah, let's just place ourselves something like this so I can show you something else. Some of you might have met with the cauldron in the demo, that little thing which you could hit and then it exploded. Alright, let's just turn off the wind actually. So since then I've upgraded the fire propagation and stuff like that, so now the performance is much better and it actually looks much nicer as well because it affects the terrain and everything around it. So let's just go ahead and type explosion and press enter. Oh crap. So let's check out this one here. So as you can see, it's not just that the terrain has a different color here, but actually the plants have burned up as well, and also as far as I can see a little bit of the tree got hit by it too. So yeah, check out this side as well. So basically that's about it. That fire is now actually propagating properly. Well, it didn't now, because the chance of it to propagate is actually a bit low right now, because I don't really want everyone to burn down entire areas of the map with one torch. Another neat thing is that, for example, if it's raining, let's set the rain to 3, for example, which is full-on rain. I'm actually just gonna lower its voice a bit, its sound. Okay, much better. So yeah, let's do another explosion. Let's say for here where there are a few plants, or maybe up here. Well, this one didn't hit right. But you could see that the fire got extinguished almost instantly. It didn't propagate itself or anything like that. Yep. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is what I announced already yesterday, which is that I'm from a few days ago on actually working with an artist, a very talented artist who's helping me with 2D and 3D, you know, just concepting creatures in 2D and then creating the actual models with textures in 3D. So it's a huge help, and he is insanely talented. Before announcing him, just let's go through some of the work he's already created for the project, starting out with these awesome fish variations, because yeah, of course there's gonna be fishing in Sword Hero, because you know you can't have an open world RPG without fishing. So let's go through. Oh yeah, we're gonna be having some pretty intense stuff. You know, some of the waters of West aren't really gonna be kind of safe for swimming, but of course in and out of cities there are gonna be, you know, just regular animals walking by doing their stuff. Just look at this little dude, so cool. Also gonna be stuff, you know, outside the villages as well. Some are more traditional, some are less traditional, like this is probably, you know, the actual size of this beetle. It's probably with those things he can chew off your legs, just watch out. And here's the grayskin variation, one of them at least, which is pretty insane looking. This is a bit bigger than it's actually going to be, because it's just, you know, made bigger to better be able to see the details on it. But yeah, so it looks really great. These little guys too, just they're gonna be, you know, just some tiny little fellas just walking around in the grass and running away from you. Just, you know, some fun stuff. Also, you can probably step on them, but it's gonna be messy. There's also gonna be some more extreme stuff. For example, this is just, you know, a regular bird, like the ones in the demo, but you know, those were crows. But this guy is a bit more hostile looking, you know, with 6 eyes and teeth in their beaks. These mutant birds are gonna be poked around on Wes in some more hostile areas. There's a better look at the chick. It just looks, look at its eyes, jeez, it's so cool. Another view of the mutant bird. Yeah, nice set of pearly whites. And yeah, of course the caves are gonna have bats. I'll do my best to make them, you know, just hang off the ceiling of caves. It would be pretty cool, you know, just go into a cave and they all get startled up and start flying out in masses. Tons of birds, really awesome stuff. And another look of the bat itself, its belly. And we've arrived. The artist is actually Ahmonza, who is an insanely good artist, because just look at this, and this is just, you know, fraction of his work. He's also doing, you know, his own world building of the world of Boom. I really recommend checking out his videos and pretty much everything you can find on it, because it's seriously immersive and great stuff. I just, you know, overall advise you guys to just come on his channel and just binge watch all his stuff, because it's really insanely good. And also he has, you know, other platforms such as ArtStation, where you can also check out his other stuff. And so yeah, just give his stuff a watch, because it's insane. Actually, many of you might have already seen his work before, because some of his previous work, like his videos on orc genealogy, went really viral. So yeah, I'm gonna put links to his socials actually below these videos, so you guys can check out his work, because it's definitely something to you know, feast your eyes on, because just look at it, wow. Insane. Alright, back to Sword Hero for a little bit more, and to close it off, I'd like to talk a bit about some of the things that I've created over the past few years. Well, not these specific ones weren't really created in the past few years, but like the last week. So, but what I really just want to emphasize is that the proper tooling is very important, and I've spent most of my time in the last few years creating all these systems and tools and whatnot, you know, that can allow me to, you know, just build all of this world alone, and you know, not even in full time or anything like that. So let's see, for example, first let's just turn off lighting so we can see the inside of cave. So as you can see, this cave at the moment is pretty barren. It's not really yet dressed or furnished or anything like that. Oh, actually, some of the books are data propagated out of here, so let's just purge that quickly. So, in fact, there's two tools I'm going to be showing off now. One of them is what I call just simply a spider webber, which is actually just a procedural spider web generator. I come here, aim at a corner, press shoot spider web, and plunk, it shoots spider web. You know, it might not be that visible in the video, so I'm just going to yeah, there we go. See, it's even affected somewhat to the motion of the wind and stuff like that, because, you know, I've felt that spider webs are usually very neglected in most games where they could, you know, really emphasize that place hasn't, you know, really been visited in a long time, and also just gives a sort of oppressive atmosphere. You know, these are just actually regular spiders, if that's, you know, not scary enough in itself, you know, just accidentally walking into a spider web that's like as thick as your forearm. So you can also see that it's, you know, kind of random. And now basically I just you know, made it so that it just makes the setting up of these cool looking spider webs much faster, because otherwise, you know, you have to manually align their rotation and move them around and stuff like that, and it just very and it can be very time consuming, you know. But otherwise, if we come up here, I've put some here as well. For example, you see inside the stones and some crevices and stuff like that, you know, because if you, for example, go for a walk in a forest, you see that you know, many times there are these huge ass spider webs everywhere, you know, because well, there are bugs and they like bugs, so they create these huge spider webs. Alright, and the last thing I'd want to talk today about, even though, you know, there's a lot more already done, but I find this one also interesting because it's also you know, such a nothing burger, you know, that people don't really pay attention to it too much, but it's just procedural ropes. So I don't know, let's check this protruding rock hill. Just look at it. Just gonna place the start point here, and for example there in this other one, I just look at here, press, you know, place endpoint, and we have a little festival rope spawned right here, although it's as you can see, it hangs a bit into the ground, so I can actually just go here and just make it a bit tighter, and there we go. It's already a kind of decent looking festival rope, which are going to be, you know, more prominent in the next month when I'll be, you know, fully working on the city and putting together the NPCs, routines and stuff like that. And these are just going to be things that are otherwise, you know, quite finicky to create at times, you know, especially you know, with the proper sort of physics to it, even though this isn't physics based. It's just a simple line renderer with some math behind it, but it really speeds up doing these things, you know, because otherwise you'd have to like manually model these, and you could see that you know, before it was just actually, you know, 2 clicks. So to show it off, just let's do another one here, even though these guys, you know, are not gonna be here because it's gonna be, you know, mostly, for example, in the city, as I said, but it also can be used for other things, like for example, you know, just some ivy or just cables in New Westland in the future, and just overall other stuff like that. Also, well, I'm in editor mode now, so I can't really show it off, but they are affected by wind as well, and, you know, the impact of explosions, so it can really give a nice feeling to the atmosphere as they are hanging around and stuff like that. So yeah, it's also very customizable, you know, they can look anyhow. I just made these red because these are going to be used in Ironshire, because those guys are waiting a certain something, but well, yeah, let's return to this in the next devlog. Maybe next month, or maybe at the end of the month, I'm not sure, because the dressing of this scene and, you know, just placing overall cool stuff everywhere and stuff like that is kind of progressing well, so I might be able to get to it in before the end of November, but yeah, we'll see. So actually this is it for this time, but I'll soon be back with more things, and as always, just feel free to ping me pretty much anytime on Discord or, you know, everywhere, and I'll do my best to answer to you if your question is, of course, answerable. Thank you very much, guys, and have a nice week.